Alright, so guys, this is just a snippet of one of my short stories to come. It's entitled The Old Theater. And I'm going to read you just a little bit to give you an idea of where I'm going with it. And it goes like this. In the third portion of his show, Terrell told more jokes, except this time he acted them out as he was telling them. And the audience members got a real kick out of it. They died with laughter as Terrell made a complete fool of himself during his ridiculously funny performance on stage. Terrell, however, was not bothered by this at all, seeing as though he was completely comfortable just being himself. All he heard were sincere laughs and saw genuine smiles and grins as he acted out his jokes. In fact, the Japanese people's eyes were so squinted that it was as if their eyes themselves were smiling. Absolutely everything was going right and nothing was going wrong, Terrell thought. There were no abnormalities, at least for what he could see. But when he took a good look out at the crowd once more, that's when Terrell realized that he thought too soon. When he took a gander out into the center of the audience, Terrell saw something that was abnormally strange, or rather, someone. There, seated in the very center of the crowd, was a woman. And something about the way she was dressed and how she looked threw him off a bit as he was performing. Unlike everybody else he saw, who were all outfitted in casual everyday clothing, this particular woman wore clothes that were more on the formal side. She was wearing this bright white garment of the sorts, kind of like a dress, but Terrell could visibly see that it was ragged, like it had been through some things and was now torn to shreds. When Terrell zoomed in more on the woman's face, he noticed that she had unusually pale white skin like that of a ghost, or as if she had seen one. He couldn't tell if she was ill or just frightened to death, but for what reasons would those be at a comedy show, Terrell thought, at least for the scared part. Maybe she just came sick but still wanted to get in a good laugh, he thought even further, trying to rationalize the woman's bizarre appearance. That was not the only thing, however, that Terrell noticed about this strange woman indeed. When he glared at her, he saw that the woman's eyes were locked directly with his, and she had a deadpan look on her face, as if she took absolutely no interest in any of his jokes. The woman's expression was dead, blank, pale, and emotionless altogether. Terrell glanced over the crowd, and though it seemed everyone else was laughing and having a good time, the woman he saw, who apparently was not laughing, not even smiling, stuck out like a sore thumb. He told joke after joke, and yet the woman dressed in raggedy white was the only one who appeared to not be laughing at any of them. She just stared at Terrell endlessly, with such a dead expression written across her countenance. This didn't cause him to feel any more uncomfortable than what he probably should have felt, but if anything, Terrell was more so confused about this whole situation. He wondered how the woman even got tickets to a show and was allowed to enter the theater dressed like she got her garment from a trash can. Terrell didn't feel threatened by the woman's gaze, but rather irritated, because why buy tickets to a show if all you're going to do is stare at the entertainer like they shouldn't be there trying to entertain you? He felt slightly offended by the woman, but didn't let that stop his routine. When it came to the final portion of his show, Terrell decided that he was going to end his show by poking fun at some of the audience members. He looked out in the broadened crowd of Asian people and a mysteriously strange woman, and picked the people he wanted to tell jokes about. Everyone, including those he poked fun at, laughed and laughed and laughed some more, because they knew it was, well, just jokes. However, when Terrell glanced over at the woman in white, she still was unimpressed and not laughing, not even so much as a smirk. She still had that blank, pale, expressionless expression as she stared back at Terrell, who was on stage. This irritated Terrell even more, and he made the conscious decision that she was going to be his next victim to make fun of. You see, the woman sat in between two Japanese women, The one on her right was wearing a bright yellow short-cut shirt, and the other on her left was wearing a vivid green-sleeved shirt. Terrell began to say his joke about the woman, who also had stringly white hair that looked very unkempt, like she hadn't done anything to it in a while. "Hey you, in between the women with the green and yellow, where do you shop for your clothes? The richest to rags thrift shop?" Terrell said, almost jokingly. The stringly white-haired woman had zero reaction to his joke about her. In fact, she didn't even crack a smile. Everyone else in the theater laughed gut-aching laughs, but the two Asian ladies sitting on either side of the woman were not laughing or smiling. They looked at each other and then looked back at Terrell on stage, as if to say, "What woman?"